Hey guys, this is a build showcase for Flameblast Oil Grenade Gemling. It's kind of a sleeper build. There's a couple of guides out there, but I do think it is still a bit under the radar. I was watching Jung Roden play this like a week ago, and he stopped playing it, so I kind of wanted to take it in hardcore and see where I end up with it. So let's start off by going over the skills. The thing that is different about mine is compared to the other build guides is I'm using cast on dodge. Now, despite being on hardcore, I think this is one of the strongest mobility skills alongside with how much defense this actually gives you. When you're looking at my simulacrum gameplay, I'm going through almost the entirety of it without taking while taking like a 200 damage or something, despite it being like a double damage mod, extra to chaos. I'm not even chaos inoculation, right? Now, for my cast on dodge, I am using refutation. Refutation, this is imagine this as like you're somebody who has like a shield up, because this thing lasts for around 10 seconds. It lasts for 10 seconds, and the cooldown 6.5 seconds. So imagine like that's like having a 65% block, like a shield on, basically, while being mobile as hell and you're dodging all the time. Now, the reason why this is a little bit clunky, unless you have enough area of effect, because you're gonna be dodging, you're gonna move so far that you're not gonna be able to keep your oil is gonna touch each other, right? And you want the oils to connect to spread the fire. Now, my oil actually gets pretty damn far. I'm gonna show you a little bit over here where there is no monsters around, so I can kind of demonstrate it a bit for. So if I shoot like this and I dash, I do a little bit. This connects, right? That's a lot of distance. Now, cast on dodge with a decree of flight, there's a little bit of an extra movement speed you get when you're holding it for a bit. It goes away. So I can hold that extra bit of movement speed all the way to the end, and my grenades will still reach. That's how much area you need to make this setup work. But once it works, you're not really thinking. You're just, you spam, you hold it a bit, click, spam, hold it a bit, click. And it works very damn good. And the area of effect is bigger than the entire screen. Now, that's my cast on dodge setup. The rest is just whatever. I have a little bit of stuff here. This should be like a full-on dexterity skill gem, just so I can get more dexterity modes. Oil grenade. I've encroaching ground, nova projectiles, cooldown recovery, magnified area, and short fuse. Now you can mess around with this a lot. I've seen some builds on Ninja use pierce. I think that's very, very good. If your oil grenade can pierce through and not get stopped, that's very ideal. However, because I'm scaling area so much, I don't really feel like I need piercing. But in the early game, you can kind of use multi-shot as well. Multi-shot's very important, but Nova projectiles is very, very important. Now I'm running an ES build without using convalescence. I'm instead just using blasphemy. Now this is just crazy how strong this is. You can with this, any white mob is being slowed like by 70-something%, which makes casting flame blast very cozy. Like I don't have to worry much. I can kind of get it off before, as long as I'm dodging, refutation comes up, and eventually my ES will just recover without needing to, click on that button. So I only have around 150 spirit. I wish I could get more spirit. It'd be really nice, but I just don't have that type of gear on my character right now. Elemental weakness. This is nice. There are going to be, monsters that have elemental resistances. This is pretty standard. Hiding curse, prolonged duration, rapid casting, magnified area, efficiency. Now this is Flame Blast. I have it at level 35. The Liberation version, since we're channeling it, considered casting, concentrated area, and searing flame. The rest is just disabled skills, so I can get notes off of. Now, there's a little bit of a gemling tech that I don't see anybody mention, and that is using unset rings and unequip it. So this is a tech for anybody playing gemling here. You can take any unset ring. It doesn't really matter. And as of right now, if I take this out, I don't have the skill anymore, right? I'm just gonna reset my emotes here. I went back and forth within a map. Now I had 14 dex motes. Let's see how much I have now. All right, it looks like my motes have stopped gaining, and I have 10 now. So the skills that you slot in and that don't even do anything still contribute towards your motes. So if you're playing Gemling, make sure to swap in some unset rings, place in some useless skills that you can't really use, and swap it back. So those are the rest of my skills here that are not really doing anything, but contribute towards 20% increased energy shield in this case. Now let's go over the gear. I started this build at around level 80-ish. I put around 50 to 80 divines, and I was able to clear Simulacrum, tier 16. It was a little bit sus because I think my damage was a little bit low, and there were some moments where I was kind of scared. But around now, I have a couple hundred divs into the character, and it is very, very cozy. Now, let's go over the gear as of right now. +7. You can slot in Passion of Aldur to kind of swap everything from all the gain to fire, which is pretty nice. I have Desecrated, increased magnitude of damaging ailments. This is just a standard, plus fire spells. We have Hedge Witch +1 to all spell skills as well. I have Desecrated ailments here on the gloves. Just ES gloves. Here is just resistance rings with increased fire damage. This is a useless modifier here, but it is what it is. Same thing over here. This one's a lot better since it's on a rarity ring. But mana, increased fire damage. Resistances. Ideally, you can do maximum mana or life as well. I can eventually get out of life, but I think right now I'm comfy with the chaos damage, and that's because I'm wearing a lore weave. This is bringing me up to 79 chaos resistance. Pretty nice. That's I think that's around 22% increase EHP against chaos, if I'm remembering the math correctly. This is a really solid lore weave that I got in hardcore. Maybe it's a little bit more common in softcore. You can find one of these. Can I be chilled or frozen? Huge. And this one is really important. Ignites, you inflict spread to other enemies. Now there's a lot of flying mobs, and this Ignited Ground doesn't work against flying mobs. So that's why this is really damn solid. And the last one is you take fire damage instead of physical damage from bleeding. That turns off one of the dangerous avenues, since I have 79 fire res, and basically now I'm immune to bleeding, and I'm also immune to ignite by taking it in the tree, but we'll go over the tree later. This is a standard energy shield helmet, and for the belt we're using Darkness Enthroned. I'm socketing in Spirit. If you don't know, if you socket in Spirit, it doubles the amount of Spirit you get, but this modifier on the bottom doesn't really apply, right? So I'm losing like 40 something Spirit, but I'm still getting like 90 something Spirit total. Socketing the Fox Idol for 9% quality of all skills. The other thing that's really nice about the lore weave too is the quality of skills, which increases a lot because you have 10 stages on your flame blast. So every quality just compounds to so much damage. Now this is pretty damn expensive here. I did craft this myself. I think I found a +3 spell skills for like a couple divine, and I just hit the fracture on it. Huge. I think I spent a total of 50 divines to craft this. You want to do a Kurgle Desecration to get this quality boss skills. This is just, again, so much damage, and it helps everything else too, since your quality stacking on the Gemling. Ideally, I have spared on this, but I was so happy with the mods on it already that I didn't want to just chaos spam for Spirit. And I was also kind of broke at the time as well. We're allocating Paragon, more quality as well. The amount of quality that I have total on Flame Blast is a 50% quality total. That's a lot more. It's a lot of juice here. I have a Decree of Flight. I try to get the highest dodge roll and the highest guard as possible, but if I could, I might sacrifice some of it to get one with 2 sockets. I try to corrupt it, but I ended up with this. Not enough chaos resistance, so I have to use a soul core here. Well, that's kind of the gear. Now there is my crossbow. Now the thing that I feel I'm doing a little bit different than the other people who are playing this build is I'm opting in for a cannonade. You don't really care about the damage on your bow, but this +5 to all projectile skills end up adding like 0.1 or 0.2 to your oil grenade. radius, right? 0.2 meters is huge because you're scaling it more with magnified area and encroaching ground. So the extra +5 the projectile skills is really damn nice. And you can, you can desecrate it to get more duration as well. Just finding a +5 projectile skill, like the top, I ended up finding one with fire damage, and that's really important because you don't want fire damage on your crossbow, or you don't want any gain as fire, because it's gonna your crossbow is gonna end up the fire damage is gonna end up igniting your own oil grenade, and it's not gonna spread the flame blast. So what you can do is use a breath of Elder to transform all of it to cold modifiers. Pretty damn nice. Now I have some skill speed just to make the mapping experience more smooth. The faster I'm shooting, the better it is, As for the prosthetic limb, cast speed, attack speed, stun threshold, mana. Now let's go over the skill tree. Now in hardcore, it is pretty expensive to get a sorcerer split personality, so I'm having to do with a shadow personality. I think the sorcerer's split personality is around 200 divines or 150, and the shadow is around 50. So what I'm doing is I am pathing straight down. We're getting area of effect, getting all these crossbow nodes here to help with the cooldown in the area. And this is what is going to scale a lot of the area even more right here. 4% increased area of effect per enemy you've ignited in the last 8 seconds, up to 40%. Now that's crazy. You're going to be igniting everybody on the screen. So this is just that's just 40% area of effect. I'm grabbing all the area. This is just so, when I'm playing, I can dash far away and just chill. You can map so damn fast with this just because of how much area you're getting. You can kind of see right now in my mansion, right? All of the oil everywhere, it's spreading to the other room as well. Because the build has so much damage with how broken the scaling is on Flame Blast, you're trying to make everything else as smooth as possible. The area just makes it crazy smooth. And the last thing I had here is this. I've died one time to ignite. I think the other time, I kind of died to ignite as well in hardcore so far. And so just getting this is immense. I'm immune to chill, ignite, immune to chill from this, and ignite from here. And I'm also immune to bleeding. Effectively immune, right? Because, I'm taking fire damage and that's reduced a lot. So this is just, for the most part, I don't feel like I need Chaos Inoculation. Doubling down here. Here's some more cooldown recovery. Now, the people are running the unique cannon, the Redemption Stratton cannon. This is pretty good as well. I haven't tried this yet, but, you have a reduced cooldown recovery rate, which kind of sucks, but you gain explosive rhythm, which is pretty damn nice because this also reduces your cooldown recovery rate. So people are using this. I didn't really like it because the attack speed was kind of too slow. You can see I'm at 1.65. This one's at 1.4 with the base. It doesn't have the extra, projectile. You want to make sure you get this too. This is very important because you only need 3. With how much area that I have, I only need 3 projectiles to really make it work, right? Back when I was playing, before I could scale the area, I had multi-shot and I was getting 4 to 5. We're taking some notes here. Here are some of my gems. Just damaging ailments to damage faster, energy shield. You can craft some of these. This is 40% to fire damage. This one's pretty crazy, right? This was a 20 divine for me to craft this, I think. Watching Palsterin, he has a good guide on crafting jewels, and I think with how strong jewels are, you definitely want as many slots as you can. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 6 jewels. This is a little bit sus here. I'm not sure if I need this. This seems a bit wasted, but maybe I'll replace it when I find a better jewel. Now let's talk about the startup here. Now, ideally, if you can get the one that starts you as the sorcerer, as the sorceress, it'd be pretty huge. But it's just a little bit too out of my price range right now. I'm pathing up. I'm taking the energy shield. This is as much defense as I'm trying to get. Ideally, because the damage is so well covered, I'm just everywhere else, I'm looking for defense, right? Now, the one thing I will say is you want this Whispers of Doom. Because I'm using Blasphemy, it is really nice to be able to apply Elemental Weakness as well. So Whispers of Doom is huge. But yeah, that is about it for the build. Yeah, I didn't showcase it. I mean, I will say, if you're playing Gemling and your build can allow it, this is so broken. You know, if your build allows you to deal damage while moving, you should always be taking cast on dodge. It's ridiculous. I will also say that this build is kind of laggy. I am running a pretty recently built PC, like it's not a 4090. I've actually modded my game so I can run FSR 4. I'm running a 9070 XT, one of the recent GPUs that came last year. Yeah, I mean, my FPS is dropping quite a bit when I'm playing the game because of how much fire there is. But the nice thing about this build is, the nice thing about running cast on dodge is because you're moving out of the fire so fast, you're not gonna lag that much. Unless you're in simulacrum, right? Where you're forced to face the flames. But otherwise, because you're so far, you're getting out of the way so fast, you know, the flames, they don't really damage your GPU as much as they do